What is going on, guys? Justin here, Ryan in the back seat, girlfriend's behind the wheel, and we are departing to the Midwest Gaming Classic 2018. Surprisingly, not in a blizzard yet, but it wouldn't be MGC weekend if a blizzard wasn't coming. We might be battling one coming back. There's a huge storm coming. I'm thinking it shouldn't be too bad down in Milwaukee, but as soon as we get back up in Michigan on the drive home, it's going to be pretty bad. Anyway, I'm pretty excited for this weekend. Going to hit up a bunch of stores, the usuals, on the way down, plus a couple new ones that we haven't stopped at before, hopefully. So we'll try and get some video of that for you guys, and of course we will let you know what we pick up on the way down. And we'll be doing all kinds of filming at the convention itself, looking to get more footage of like the pinball hall, the arcade hall, stuff other than just the vendor hall this year. It's at a brand new venue. It's going to be pretty much a new experience for us, and we're pretty excited. So let's see what we can find on the way down. Alright, so this first stop here is at a Goodwill that we never really find anything at. It's just kind of a classic stop when we're headed down this way. They did have some game stuff, but it was nothing worth picking up. They had a couple accessories as well, I think like a PS2 controller that was super beat up for $4 or $5, so had to pass on that as well. And this Goodwill here is actually another classic stop as well. As soon as we cross the border into Wisconsin, we usually stop at this Goodwill, and haven't really had too much luck here in the past, but this time we did buy some stuff. As you can see, there is a brand new Animal Crossing amiibo set. That was $6.99. My girlfriend found me some graphing calculators for $2.99 each. I've never seen them that cheap at a thrift store. We didn't get real good footage of it in the store, but we did buy a few Wii games from this Goodwill, Guitar Hero 5, Ghostbusters, and the Simpsons game. Those were $2.99 each, cheaper than our Goodwill sells them. So Dawnfather Games, this was a brand new stop for us. We had never been to this store before, near Green Bay, Wisconsin. And I gotta say, we were pretty disappointed with this one. First off, because it was more so like a board and card game store than it was a video game store. They did have some game stuff, as you can see here, but overall the atmosphere in the store was just off. It was super boring. There was just, plain white concrete walls. There was no music playing, just like awkward silence with the employee there. And yeah, we did not end up grabbing anything from this Dawnfather Games. So the Midwest Trading Company is like a pawn shop that kind of evolved out of the Mega Media Exchange stores that closed down a couple years ago in this area. It's got a lot of the same look and probably a lot of the same inventory still. This store just wasn't as glorious as I remember it being last year when we stopped at it. It just seems like they're kind of getting away from the media and video game stuff and more into like guns and snowblowers. Guy bought a snowblower while we were there, which was probably smart on his part because there was record snowfall in Green Bay this weekend. More on that in part 2. Here's me taking a selfie in front of their EA Games exhibit. I ended up picking up South Park: The Stick of Truth for the 360 for $2.99. Had a coworker looking for that. And then I picked up F1 Race for the Super Nintendo. I didn't know if I already had it. Turns out I already do, but for $1.99, still an okay purchase. So Ryan grabbed Leisure Suit Larry for the 360 for $6.99 and Pirates: The Legend of the Black Cat for the original Xbox for $1.99. So this is where we got confused. Now this location here we've always known as GB Games. We stop at it every year. However, it has been transformed into another Dawnfather Games. So I asked the employee when we got inside, and as it turns out, both GB Games and Dawnfather Games were owned by the same person. They wanted all their stores under one name, so they just changed the name of the store, but it is the same store. And this is where we spent the most time and money on the drive down. They had some cool sales going where they were doing like buy one, get one half off for pretty much anything in the store that was under $25.99, I believe. So we definitely cashed in on that. Also, the employee that was working there hooked us up with some deals that weren't necessarily advertised, but What I ended up grabbing was a complete in-box copy of Darkman for the NES. That's a cartridge that I didn't even have yet. The box isn't in great shape, but $24.99 by itself was a steal of a deal for that. However, I did get a half off of a game
on that Pugsy and Gadget Twins.
The Piglets game I just bought straight up for $2.99, one for the GameCube collection, and the Breakthrough and Power Pigs of the Dark Age. I did a buy one get one half off on those. It's too bad that Power Pigs game is so beat up because $5.99 for that cartridge is a steal of a deal, and it was half off of that as well. And I picked up the Star Soldier here, which I got half off because I bought the Darkman for full price. I also grabbed some original Game Boy games from this store. These weren't advertised as part of the buy one get one half off deal, but the employee there kind of hooked us up and did the deal for me. So we got Casper, Scrabble, Shanghai, Ashido, which I've never seen before, The Jungle Book, and Gearworks, which I've also never seen before. You can see they were all priced relatively cheap, but again, they were buy one get one half off. So Ryan's pickups here, he got a buy one get one half off on that Pugsy and Gadget Twins for the Genesis, two kind of oddball titles. Also picked up Space Raiders and Evolution Worlds for the GameCube, along with Scud and Clockwork Knight for the Saturn. Neither of those four were part of the buy one get one half off deal, but they were still very fair prices. He also grabbed Marvel vs. Capcom for $30 on the Dreamcast and Blazing Lasers for the TurboGrafx 16. It says $45.99, but he was able to talk the employee down to $40 even on that one. Kind of a funny story though, while we were here, a lady brought in a boxed TI computer that she was looking to sell. The employee there attempted to hook it up but couldn't get it working, and so he wasn't going to buy it. He kind of recommended some other places that she could take it, but Ryan and I looked at each other and I was like, you know what, I'm going to see how much she wants for it. And she said, well, the employee there was going to offer her $15 if it was working. I told her I'd give her $10 for it as is, and she sold it to me. So I'll pop a picture of that right here. Yeah, boxed TI computer for $10. Mojo's Electronics in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We've actually never stopped at this particular Mojo's location before. They have a few other stores in this same area, and this one might be a newer one actually. I don't recall ever seeing this one while we were driving through. I could be wrong on that, but it's a cool little store. They've got a little bit of everything, a bunch of video game stuff. They've also got, you know, VHS, DVDs. My girlfriend even bought some anime books from this store. They had some decent deals going on, mainly for their cheaper games. They were doing like a 4 for $10 on all their $2.99 games. So I found a bunch of Game Boy games that I needed for my collection. Nothing too special, obviously, but for $2.50 each, I'll pretty much pick up any Game Boy game that I still need. And Ryan took advantage of a 3 for $10 deal. He picked up Soul Calibur Legends on the Wii, Best of the Best Championship Karate on the Super Nintendo, and Road Blasters on the NES. Pre-played in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Kind of another classic stop, I guess you could say, although it's really more of like a convenience stop. It's right across from the big mall in Green Bay. We usually stop at the mall, grab lunch at the food court, maybe stop in at Hot Topic and grab a video game t-shirt for the show, and then drive across the street to Pre-Played. This store carries all kinds of media stuff. They have like DVDs and CDs and stuff. They don't have a whole lot of high-end video game stuff though. It's mostly just cheaper, you know, cartridge-only titles. I did pick up one N64 game though, Army Men Sarge's Heroes 2. A game that I already own for my collection, but I've never seen the gray cartridge variant of this game before, so for $6.99 I decided to pick that up for the collection. Game Trade in De Pere, Wisconsin continues to be one of our favorite stops on the drive down to MGC. Definitely the most quality video game store that we've ever been in. I gotta be honest, we never drop a whole ton of cash in this store, but just to come in and look at everything this guy has to offer, all the quality stuff that this guy has for sale. It's like a video game museum in here. And I did actually pick up some Game Boy games from here as well for my collection. He had a huge tub full of Game Boy games that he was selling for, I think it was 5 for $10. And I ended up finding 10 Game Boy games that I needed for my collection. I kind of wish I would have held out at like Mojo's and stuff, because some of the same games I bought from Mojo's for, you know, $2.50 or so, they were selling here for a little bit cheaper, but I can't get too picky, I guess. I got a good deal on 10 Game Boy games for $20. So Pawn America, what do I have to say about dear old Pawn America? Well, it definitely is not what it used to be. The one in Green Bay is actually closed now, and this one that we were at here in Appleton is a fraction of what it used to be, which is disappointing because these used to be honey holes. Man, we used to walk out of these stores with bags of games, so dirt cheap, it was unbelievable. But now, they didn't have a whole lot, and even in their glass case here, they had a few quality titles. That Indiana Jones for the NES was like 60 bucks. Everything in this case was, 10 to 20% over what you would pay even on eBay. They even had some games up front that were so overpriced. They had like an Imaginations Invaders for the DS, which as far as I know is just like a shovelware title for $40. They also had a Batman Returns on the Genesis for $40, just completely ridiculous. Anyway, I filmed a quick clip after we walked out of the store that I think captures the essence of the moment.
Well, everyone, it finally happened. For the first time in 6, maybe 7 years, we just walked out of a Pawn America empty-handed.
So yeah, Pawn America probably won't be on the list of stops for next year. Half Price Books is kind of in the same vicinity as some of the other stores that we stop at. We've never had a whole lot of luck here in the past. Obviously, they're primarily like a bookstore, but they do carry an odd variety of video game items as well. We didn't end up picking up anything from this store this time around, but again, it's so close to everything else that it's usually worth the stop. So we didn't get a really good shot of this storefront here. This is actually the Mojo's Electronics in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. We kind of entered through like the sketch back alleyway that didn't have a sign or anything. That's why we didn't have any footage of the front of the store. But we actually stopped at this particular location, I believe 2 years ago, on the way down to MGC. And at that time we didn't buy anything. But this time I did end up picking up one N64 game that I needed for my collection, Rush 2049, for $14.99, which for a retail game store I felt was a very fair price. Seems to go closer to 20, 22-ish if you were to buy it like on eBay or something. So cross that one off the N64 list. So I'll give you guys a little teaser right here of what's to come in part 2 of our MGC 2018 series. I'm going to be showing you guys the happenings of the convention, obviously the vendor hall. They had some cool stuff on display this year. There was also some celebrities in the building, so we'll check that out in part 2 as well, along with the record-breaking snowfall blizzard that we had to endure on the drive home. What a mess that was. So thank you guys for sticking around and checking out part 1 of this series. Keep an eye out for part 2 coming soon, and until then, take care.